Today is Friday, January 23rd, 2026. Speak this blessing over your life. Don't scroll. Please don't scroll. Listen to this carefully, because this message is not random, and it's not meant for everyone. It's meant for you, and your heart knows it. Right now, on this Friday, January 23rd, 2026, the universe is interrupting your routine, your thoughts, your doubts, and even your fears just to speak directly to your soul. You may have clicked on this without thinking, or maybe something inside you told you to stop. That was not curiosity, that was alignment. Your spirit recognized this moment before your mind did. You've been carrying a weight lately, one you don't talk about, one you smile through, one you push down when people ask, "Are you okay?" And the truth is, you've been strong for too long without feeling seen. But listen. The universe has seen every silent tear, every night you questioned your worth, every time you loved deeply and received uncertainty in return. This is not punishment. This is preparation. If your chest feels tight right now, if your eyes feel heavy, if something in you feels exposed, that's because this message is touching a place only truth can reach. Your heart needs this right now. You've been sensing a shift, haven't you? A strange mix of exhaustion and hope, like something old is ending but something new hasn't fully arrived yet. That feeling is real. You are standing at the edge of a breakthrough, even if it doesn't look like it yet. The universe is rearranging things behind the scenes in ways you cannot see, and that delay you've been frustrated with. It was protecting you from stepping into something before you were ready. You were never forgotten. You were being refined. And if you've been seeing signs lately, repeating numbers like 1111 when you least expect it, 222 when you're questioning a decision, 444 when you feel alone, those aren't coincidences. Those are confirmations. Those are angels gently tapping you on the shoulder saying, "Keep going. You're closer than you think." Even the moments that broke your heart were not wasted. They were teaching you discernment, self-respect, and the difference between attention and alignment. You didn't lose people. You outgrew versions of yourself that no longer matched where you're going. And listen to this part closely, because this is where the shift begins. The universe is not asking you to become someone new. It's asking you to remember who you were before the world told you to shrink. That version of you who believed deeply, loved honestly, dreamed freely, that version is waking up again. That's why old emotions are surfacing. That's why memories are replaying. That's why your intuition feels louder than ever. This is your spiritual awakening activating, and it doesn't always feel peaceful at first. Sometimes it feels like confusion. Sometimes it feels like loneliness. Sometimes it feels like you're being pulled apart. But this awakening is necessary, because what's coming next requires clarity, not fear. And yes, love is part of it. Real love. Soul-deep love. The kind that doesn't drain you, doesn't confuse you, doesn't make you beg to be chosen. There is a soulmate connection written into your path, and whether you believe it or not, that person is also being prepared right now. The delays, the distance, the silence, all of it has been aligning you both to meet when you can recognize each other without wounds speaking louder than truth. This is not about chasing. This is about attracting. This is about becoming so aligned with your purpose that what's meant for you has no choice but to find you. And here's something you may not expect. The universe is proud of you. Proud of how you didn't give up, even when you were tired of being strong. Proud of how you kept believing, even when life tested you. Proud of how you stayed kind in a world that tried to harden you. This is your confirmation that you are on the right path, even if the road feels uncertain. Take a deep breath right now. Let it go slowly. As you do, release the fear that things won't work out. Because they will. just not in the way you imagined. Something better is unfolding, something aligned, something divinely timed. And this message? This is only the beginning. Stay with me. The next part will reveal what's about to shift in your life sooner than you think. Stay with me, because what I'm about to say is something your spirit already knows, even if your mind has been resisting it. There is a connection in your life, past, present, or approaching, that was never meant to be casual, temporary, or forgettable. This is a soul contract, written long before this lifetime, and right now it is activating. That's why certain people keep appearing in your thoughts without warning, why dreams feel more vivid, why emotions rise out of nowhere. This isn't weakness. This is remembrance. The universe is reminding you of a promise you made to yourself before fear ever touched you. You may have tried to move on, to convince yourself you're fine alone, to build walls disguised as independence, but listen carefully. Your heart was never meant to live in survival mode. It was meant to expand, to be witnessed, to be met. And the reason past connections fell apart is not because you were unlovable, but because they couldn't meet you at the level your soul requires now. The universe had to remove what was comfortable to make space for what is aligned. That's why the endings hurt. That's why the silence felt unbearable. That's why closure never came the way you wanted it to. Some connections end quietly because they are meant to teach, not stay. But the one that is coming, or awakening, will feel different. It won't trigger your anxiety. It won't make you question your worth. It will feel calm, grounding, familiar, like recognition rather than pursuit. And here's the part most people don't realize. While you've been doing your healing, they've been doing theirs too. The delays weren't punishment, they were protection. You were being kept apart so you could meet as healed versions, not wounded reflections. If you've been seeing signs tied to love, songs repeating, names appearing unexpectedly, numbers like 222 showing up when you think about relationships, that's confirmation. 222 is alignment. 1111 is manifestation. 444 is protection. These numbers are messages saying, this connection is being guided. And yes, there may have been confusion. Mixed signals, distance, timing that never seemed right. But divine timing doesn't rush, it prepares. That's why you're being asked to trust right now, even when you don't have proof yet. Faith is not believing without evidence, it's recognizing patterns before the picture is complete. And listen, because this part matters, the universe is also teaching you to stop settling. Stop accepting half love, half effort, half presence. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong people. Real love does not make you feel small. Real love does not disappear when things get real. Real love stays. And the reason your heart has been guarded lately is because it's learning discernment, not fear. You're learning the difference between chemistry and destiny. Between attachment and alignment, between loneliness and longing. This awakening may feel uncomfortable because it's dismantling old beliefs. Beliefs that told you love had to hurt, that struggle was normal, that being chosen meant tolerating less than you deserve. Those beliefs are dissolving now. That's why you may feel emotional waves without clear reasons. That's why you may feel drawn to silence, reflection, solitude. This is integration. This is your soul recalibrating to receive what it once thought was impossible. And here's the truth you need to hear right now. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not running out of time. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The universe is not teasing you. It's aligning you. Even the moments where you felt invisible were strengthening your intuition, sharpening your boundaries, and preparing you to recognize real love when it arrives. And it will arrive, not with chaos, but with clarity. Not with confusion, but with peace. When it happens, you'll know. There won't be games. There won't be guessing. There will be mutual effort, mutual respect, mutual recognition. Until then, your only job is to stay open without abandoning yourself. To trust without chasing. To believe without forcing. Take a breath right now and release the need to control how it happens. What's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It responds to alignment. And if this message is resonating deeply, if your heart feels exposed but calm at the same time, that's your confirmation. You're not imagining this. This is real. This is unfolding. And what comes next will explain why everything had to happen the way it did. Stay with me, because this is where the fog begins to lift and the pieces finally start connecting in ways your heart has been quietly waiting for. You've spent so much time asking why things didn't work out when you were trying your best, why people left when you needed them most, why love felt so close yet always just out of reach, why timing kept betraying you, and the universe heard every single question, even the ones you never said out loud. The truth is, nothing in your life was random, and nothing was wasted. Every delay, every disappointment, every moment you felt unseen was part of a larger design meant to prepare you for something that would have shattered you if it arrived too early. You were being trained in discernment, not punishment. Strengthened, not denied. If you look back honestly, you'll notice that the things you begged for in the past would have limited you at the level you're rising to now. You didn't lose them. They couldn't come with you. And that's why this season feels different. You're not just healing anymore, you're integrating. You're starting to see patterns instead of pain, lessons instead of loss, meaning instead of confusion. That's why memories are resurfacing, not to hurt you, but to be reprocessed with wisdom instead of emotion. Your soul is closing cycles properly now. And listen carefully, the universe does not close chapters without opening doors. If certain connections faded quietly, it's because they were meant to end gently, not dramatically. Not everything that ends needs an explanation. Some things end because your soul has already learned what it came to learn. And here's the part that changes everything. The love you're calling in now is not meant to fix you. It's meant to meet you. That's why you had to learn how to sit with yourself, how to choose yourself, how to stop abandoning your needs to keep others comfortable. You were being taught self-respect, not isolation. And that inner work you've been doing, even when it felt lonely, has been sending a powerful signal into the universe that you are ready for something real. Not fantasy. Not intensity mistaken for intimacy. But grounded, aligned, emotionally available love. The kind that feels safe, not stressful. The kind that grows quietly, not chaotically. And yes, destiny has a sense of timing that doesn't always match the calendar. You may feel pressure from the outside world, timelines, expectations, comparisons, but your soul is not on a deadline. It's on a divine schedule. That's why angel numbers keep showing up when you least expect them, especially during moments of doubt. 555 when change is inevitable. 777 when you're spiritually aligned. 1010 when cycles are ending and new beginnings are forming. These are reminders that you are supported, even when you feel unsure. And here's something you need to hear clearly. The universe has been testing your patience not to frustrate you, but to strengthen your trust. You are learning to move without forcing, to believe without proof, to rest without guilt. This is maturity. This is spiritual authority. And it's why the next chapter won't feel like struggle. It will feel like flow. You'll notice it first in small ways. Less anxiety about the future, clearer boundaries, deeper peace in your decisions, a quiet confidence replacing the need for validation. You're stepping into a version of yourself that no longer chases what runs, explains what should be understood, or begs to be chosen. You are becoming magnetic. And what's meant for you responds to magnetism, not effort. This includes love, purpose, and opportunity. If you've felt called to slow down lately, to be more intentional, to listen more than react, that's not stagnation, that's alignment. The universe is positioning you. And when the moment comes, and it will feel natural, not forced. The connection you're waiting for will recognize you without confusion. Conversations will feel easy. Effort will be mutual. Presence will be consistent. You won't feel like you're auditioning for love anymore. You'll feel chosen, calmly and clearly. And until that moment arrives fully, trust that everything unfolding right now is building toward it. Even this message reaching you at this exact time is confirmation that you're tuned into the right frequency. Your heart wouldn't resonate with this if it wasn't true. Take a breath and let go of the idea that you need to do more, prove more, or be more to deserve what's coming. You already are. What's unfolding next will not require you to shrink, settle, or silence yourself. It will meet you where you stand. And this realization, is the turning point. Because once you see the pattern, you stop repeating the cycle. And what comes after awareness is alignment. Stay here. The next part will reveal what's about to shift externally, the signs, the movement, the moment where the universe responds. Now listen closely, because this is where things stop being subtle and start becoming undeniable. Up until now, most of the work has been happening inside you, healing, awareness, releasing, remembering. But from this point forward, the universe begins to move outside of you as well, and you'll start noticing changes you can't explain away as coincidence. This is the phase where signs stop whispering and start speaking clearly. You may notice sudden shifts in conversations, unexpected messages, chance encounters that don't feel accidental, opportunities appearing right when you were about to give up hope. This is not luck. This is alignment activating in real time. The universe responds when your inner world changes, and yours has shifted more than you realize. That's why doors that were once closed now feel lighter. Why situations that used to drain you no longer have the same grip. Why people who couldn't meet you where you were slowly fall away without drama. You're no longer forcing growth, you're allowing it. And that's when momentum begins. You may see angel numbers more frequently now, especially during moments of decision. 333 when you're being guided to speak your truth. 444 when you're protected even if the path feels uncertain. 888 when abundance is aligning in ways that go beyond money, emotional stability, clarity, support. These are confirmations that you're moving in sync with divine timing. And here's something important. When destiny starts moving, it doesn't always look dramatic at first. Sometimes it looks like calm. Sometimes it looks like space. Sometimes it looks like endings that happen so gently you almost miss them. But those endings are making room. The universe cannot bring in what's meant for you if your hands are still full of what no longer fits. That's why you may feel less attached to outcomes lately. Less reactive. Less desperate for answers. This is emotional maturity settling in. And with it comes power. You are no longer vibrating at the frequency of waiting. You are vibrating at the frequency of receiving. That's a massive shift. And love begins responding to that immediately. You may notice someone from your past thinking of you at the same time you think of them. Or a name appearing repeatedly. Or a feeling of recognition towards someone you haven't even met yet. This is energetic alignment. Two paths adjusting to intersect. And it's happening naturally, not through effort or chasing. That's the difference now. The universe is orchestrating instead of testing. And if you've been asking for proof, not out of doubt, but out of exhaustion, this is it. The proof comes as peace first, not fireworks. The calm you feel now is not emptiness, it's readiness. And as things begin to move, you'll realize why everything slowed down before. Why delays happened. Why timing felt off. You needed this clarity so you wouldn't sabotage what's coming. You needed this self-trust so you wouldn't abandon yourself again. You needed this stillness so you could recognize the right energy when it enters your life. And here's where many people get scared when things finally start working. You may feel moments of disbelief, like waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's old conditioning. Release it. This chapter is not here to hurt you. It's here to confirm you. The universe doesn't bring blessings wrapped in anxiety. What's meant for you feels steady, even when it's exciting. And yes, changes are happening faster now. You may notice decisions becoming easier, boundaries becoming natural. Your intuition speaking before your fear can interrupt. This is alignment in action. You are no longer guessing your path, you're walking it. And the people meant to walk with you will recognize your energy immediately. They won't need convincing. They'll feel it. That's why forcing is no longer required. What's aligned flows toward you without resistance. And listen. If you feel an urge to rest more, to protect your energy, to choose quality over quantity in relationships, that's wisdom, not isolation. You're conserving energy for what matters. The universe is teaching you that not everything deserves access to you anymore. And as a result, what does enter your life carries more meaning, more depth, more truth. This is where manifestation becomes effortless, because you're no longer manifesting from lack, you're manifesting from alignment. Your thoughts are clearer, your emotions are steadier, your intentions are cleaner, and the universe responds quickly to clean intentions. You don't need to announce your growth. People will feel it. You don't need to chase validation. Opportunities will find you. And the connection you've been sensing, the one tied to destiny, is moving closer now, not because you waited long enough, but because you're finally ready to receive without fear speaking louder than truth. This is the stage where reality starts reflecting your inner shift. Pay attention to what shows up over the next days and weeks. Pay attention to how things unfold with ease instead of struggle. That's your confirmation. This is not a pause. This is movement. And what happens next will make it impossible to doubt that you were guided here on purpose. Stay with me, because this is the moment your soul has been quietly bracing for. The moment where everything you endured finally begins to make emotional sense, not just logical sense. This is where the universe stops preparing you and starts meeting you. You may have noticed recently that your heart feels different, not numb, not guarded, but tender in a way that scares you a little. That's because you're no longer in survival mode. You're in reception mode. The walls you built to protect yourself are dissolving, not because you're weak, but because you're safe now. Safe enough to feel again. Safe enough to trust yourself again. Safe enough to let love approach without flinching. And listen closely. The universe would not soften your heart if it planned to hurt you again. This softening is intentional. This is the confirmation phase. You've done the work. You faced the loneliness. You questioned yourself. You sat with the silence. And instead of becoming bitter, you became wiser. Instead of closing off, you became clearer. That's why what's arriving now will feel calm instead of chaotic. It won't trigger your old wounds, it will highlight your growth. And love is no longer something you're chasing or waiting for. It's something you're recognizing. The connection you're stepping into, whether it arrives through a conversation, a reunion, or a sudden knowing, will feel familiar, not because you've lived it before, but because your soul remembers it. There will be no confusion about intentions, no guessing where you stand, no emotional tug-of-war. Instead, there will be presence, consistency, a sense of being met where you are instead of having to prove yourself. And here's the part that will surprise you. The universe didn't delay this to test your patience. It delayed it to protect your heart. If this love had arrived earlier, you would have questioned it, doubted it, or sabotaged it because you hadn't yet learned to trust peace. You were conditioned to associate intensity with connection, chaos with passion, anxiety with love. That conditioning is gone now. You know better. You feel deeper. You choose differently. And that's why this chapter feels grounded instead of overwhelming. When this person looks at you, or when the universe mirrors this love back to you, you won't feel the urge to hide, perform, or overgive. You'll feel accepted in your stillness. And that's how you know it's real. Real love doesn't demand exhaustion. It invites presence. And while love is a major part of this arrival, it's not the only confirmation. You may notice your confidence stabilizing in quiet ways. You speak with more certainty. You walk away from what doesn't align without over-explaining. You stop romanticizing potential and start honoring reality. This is emotional sovereignty. This is you standing in your worth without announcing it. And the universe responds powerfully to that. Opportunities begin showing up that match your energy instead of draining it. Conversations open doors instead of closing them. Support arrives without you begging for it. This is alignment made visible. And if you've been asking for reassurance, this is it. The peace you feel now is not temporary. It's the foundation of the next chapter. You're no longer repeating cycles. You're completing them. That's why you feel lighter even when life isn't perfect yet. You trust the unfolding now. You trust yourself. And listen, you are not losing your edge by softening. You are gaining discernment. You are learning when to open and when to protect. You are learning that vulnerability with the right energy is strength, not risk. And the universe sees this maturity. That's why it's responding with stability instead of turbulence. The love coming into your life, whether romantic, soulful, or deeply aligned, will not compete with your peace. It will add to it. And that's the difference between destiny and distraction. You'll recognize it immediately because your nervous system won't feel on edge. Your intuition won't scream warnings. Your heart won't feel like it has to brace itself. Instead, you'll feel grounded, present, and seen. And here's something important. You didn't imagine this journey. You didn't make it harder than it needed to be. You didn't fail because it took time. You were becoming the version of yourself who could hold what's arriving without fear destroying it. That's growth. That's readiness. That's divine timing working in your favor. So if your heart feels full right now, even without having all the answers yet, that's confirmation. If you feel emotional without knowing why, that's release. If you feel calm after years of turbulence, that's arrival. This chapter doesn't begin with fireworks. It begins with peace. And that peace is your sign that you are exactly where you're meant to be. What's next will not require you to struggle. It will require you to receive. And that is the hardest lesson you've mastered. Stay here with me until the very last word, because this is where the universe places the seal on everything you've just felt, everything you've survived, and everything that is about to unfold in your life. This is not just an ending, this is an activation. Right now, as you're listening to this, something subtle but powerful is locking into place. You may feel it as calm, emotion, relief, or even tears without a clear reason. That's because your soul recognizes truth before your mind can explain it. The universe is not speaking about you anymore. It is speaking to you. And here is what it wants you to know: the waiting season is closing. Not all at once, not overnight, but decisively. The chapter where you questioned your worth, doubted your timing, and wondered if things would ever change, that chapter has already done its job. It taught you patience. It taught you discernment. It taught you how to stand alone without hardening your heart. And now, because you didn't let bitterness take root, you are being trusted with something sacred. What's coming next will not look like the chaos you're used to. It will feel steady. It will feel intentional. It will feel earned. And that might feel unfamiliar at first. You may catch yourself waiting for the struggle, bracing for disappointment, questioning the calm. That's old programming. Release it. You are no longer in a season of survival, you are in a season of alignment. The universe does not bring blessings wrapped in confusion. It brings them wrapped in peace. And the peace you're feeling right now is your confirmation. Over the coming days and weeks, you will notice things shifting in ways that feel almost effortless. Conversations will flow instead of stall. Decisions will feel clear instead of heavy. The right people will lean in while the wrong ones naturally fall away without drama. You will stop explaining yourself to those who were never meant to understand you. This is the reward of inner clarity. And love, yes, love, will continue to mirror this shift. Whether it arrives as a person, a deepening connection, or a renewed relationship with yourself, it will feel mutual, balanced, safe. You will no longer have to convince anyone of your value. You will no longer feel like you're asking for too much. You will realize you were simply asking the wrong places before. The universe has been listening to every prayer you whispered, every hope you tucked away because you were afraid to believe too hard. And it's answering now, not loudly, not dramatically, but accurately. You will see signs confirming this message, and they will come when you least expect them. A number that repeats exactly when you doubt. A song that speaks directly to your situation. A message or encounter that arrives at the perfect moment. When these signs appear, don't overanalyze them. Receive them. Gratitude accelerates alignment. And here's the most important truth of all: you are not late. You did not miss your moment. You were being prepared for it. What's unfolding now is not compensation for pain, it is continuation of purpose. The universe doesn't rush what is meant to last. And what's being built in your life right now is meant to last. That's why it required patience. That's why it required growth. That's why it required you to learn how to trust yourself again. And you did. Even when you were tired. Even when you felt alone. Even when you weren't sure anymore. That strength did not go unnoticed. So as this message comes to a close, I want you to do one thing. Just one. Take a slow breath. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, release the idea that you need to struggle to deserve what's next. You don't. You are already worthy. You are already aligned. You are already chosen by the path meant for you. If this message resonated with you, if your heart felt seen, if something inside you softened, if you felt calm instead of anxious, that is your sign. Stay open. Stay present. Stay receptive. The universe is not finished with you yet. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment the story finally starts flowing in your favor. And if you feel called to stay connected to this energy, don't ignore that pull. What you focus on now grows. What you believe now manifests. And what you choose now shapes the next chapter. Receive it. Trust it. Walk forward gently but confidently. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and what's coming next is already finding its way to you.